Welcome back to Base Camp Episode 2! Well, Podcast Episode 2, I should say, but whatever. Otherwise, I'm Commander Crescent.
I'm Svelger.
And today we actually get to see them be doing a normal podcast, because the first two were obviously revolving E3s, so we're actually getting onto an actual normal podcast.
And we needed a break, because there was a lot of shit for E3.
Yeah, and as you guys also know, I've been trying to do streaming again as well, so because of that, we're kind of doing like intervals a little bit of when I'm going to be doing streaming and when we can do the podcast as well, because it's something that we both really enjoy doing.
Yep.
Especially that we actually can talk civilly about this stuff.
Which is usually better than us screaming at each other.
Yeah, sometimes we will get our opinions very, sometimes we have our own opinions on certain games, and then we'll accidentally kind of steamroll the other over on accident without realizing until after the end.
Yep.
Which then results in a lot of crying.
Yep.
But that's just how marriage works, I guess.
Sure.
In a weird way, I don't know. Either way, so what we were on to go over today, we're just going to discuss some the gaming that we've been doing a lot lately, kind of going in depth of some of the stuff we've been playing a bit lately, and then we actually have a topic of the week that we're going to do as well, which is something we kind of want to do for each podcast. So we want to do this like every other week. Like, here is your topic of the bi-weekly topic. So we'll get to that topic later when we cross that bridge, but for the time being, though, we're going to go over to some of the stuff that we've been doing lately for gaming.
Yep.
So, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I don't really care.
I guess I'll probably just get one of mine out of the way just to
might as
avoid
well.
this giant minefield that we have laying in wait.
Yep.
So lately, for the last couple weeks, as you guys know, I've been doing the Pokemon streaming stuff, and you guys kind of keep up with that one as it is, and that'll be discussed at another time. Aside from that, though, in our personal gaming stuff, I've been going through the Borderlands series since Borderlands 3 is going to be coming out in a few months. So I finally sat down and played Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and finished it for the first time ever. Oh my god, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, I kind of understand why people were complaining now.
I would understand when people have the argument of, yeah, it's more Borderlands, you get more Borderlands. But it was $60 for a game that should have just been like a $30, $40 DLC add-on to Borderlands 2 that just drags on for too long.
Yeah, you played through the ending one night and the DLC and another night, and both took you about, 10 hours? We were up until 3 both nights?
We were up until 3 both nights, and this was a back-to-back night thing. It wasn't like I did it took a couple days off and then came back. I literally did it 2 different nights.
Yeah.
Because we got to, one of the last areas of Borderlands, the pre-sequel, where you get to the doll base outside on the surface of the moon.
What was the mission? The beginning of the end?
I think that's what it was called, but you're on the moon surface still, outside the doll base, and you start kind of going underground as you progress through. We were on the outside of the base, on the surface of the moon still.
Yeah.
And we started going down, and I'm just sitting there going gotta be getting close to the bottom. Gotta get close to the bottom. It just felt like it never ended.
Yeah, and then the DLC fight with, I don't even want to know what the fuck to call it, but that DLC fight just here's a boss, and here's another boss, and here's another boss, and it might be done.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It's main boss, getting to the main boss was just a drag in the first half of the actual game. Getting to the vault itself was a pain in the ass. The boss fight was interesting, but not really fun, though.
Yeah.
It was better than Borderlands 1 boss fight. You just shoot it and it dies instantly. You actually had to kind of work for it a little bit.
I think there was just an error in programming with that.
Yeah, the whole thing's just like a giant crit box.
Yeah, I think there was just an error in programming.
And they still didn't fix that for the the remastered Borderlands one. They just kind of let that be because it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But otherwise, for pre-sequel, though, it's the boss for the vault isn't really fun. The one for 2 was a lot more fun. Mm-hmm. But the DLC, because it was, Shadow Trap or whatever the fuck it was, an evil claptrap pretty much in a sense. We get to the boss fight after 10 hours of this DLC, and I'm like, okay, this DLC was kind of fun at first, and now I'm just kind of miserable here getting to the end of it. And when you get to the boss fight, it starts off where it's it's just him shooting you with a gun. It's just claptrap with a gun again. We know this song and dance. That's easy. Then you get to the point of, now he puts this thing inside of him. Now he's a giant cyborg thing. And how long did it take me just to beat that portion, probably? At least an hour and a half to just get past that wave of him?
Yeah.
We killed that half. I'm okay, we're done. Hallelujah. And then he turns into the Hyperion space station, and he's floating around the map, and you have to kill that now. And it's that's probably another hour and a half of just trying to do that.
And this isn't me trying to play a first-person shooter, and it would definitely take an hour and a half because I'm god-awful.
Yeah.
This was somebody who's actually competent in first-person shooters, and this took forever.
And it's because, you're taking so much damage, and there's so much shit firing you in every direction, you had no room to breathe.
Yeah.
It's like the second you had like 1 second to breathe, all of a sudden one of his minions flanks you behind, your shields can't come back, and then all of a sudden you charge that stupid laser for an insta drop.
Yep.
And if you're playing by yourself, you're just kind of auto-boned.
Yep.
And I had like good weapons and everything. I had good perks set up on the character I was playing as. It just, I couldn't catch a break. I got downed so many times, and it just was miserable, because then as soon as you down and have to respawn at one of those stations, they get all their health back, so you lose all the progress you just made.
See, game developers, that's not fun.
Like, if you had some friends that could help you and, like, distract the fire and you could work together, yeah, I could see the energy. I could see the
that
entertainment
probably would have
factor.
been better as a multiplayer. Like,
And
almost old multiplayer only type of DLC.
And that's the thing, is like, Borderlands does try to focus very heavily on the multiplayer aspect, but for single player people that want to play by themselves, or they just don't have any friends that have the console, or they just can't come over and play, you have to at least have some fun there still. I know for multiplayer they add more enemies and stuff, they up the difficulty a little bit more just to balance out for the fact that there's more people.
Yeah.
But for a single player, and that is what you're introduced with on like, and this isn't like a new playthrough or anything, this is like me just going through the game normally, and getting to that point, it's not fun.
No, it's not.
All the DLC in Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 1, they actually were fun and entertaining by yourself still. Again, the Dungeons and Dragons 1 and 2 is still probably one of my favorite DLCs right now, I think.
Are you gonna do that again when you go through Borderlands 2?
Yes, because that DLC is way too much fucking fun.
Yeah. Plus that one's a long one, but it doesn't feel like a slog.
Well, no, especially for someone like me who loves Dungeons and Dragons, like, I love the references and stuff. And the fact that Salvador is like, his face is for all the dwarves is just kind of hilarious.
It's pretty good.
But the fact of the matter is, like, that DLC was just, like, that one for the Claptrap one was probably one of the worst DLCs I've had to deal with in a game in a long while.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't fun to me. Like, I was just miserable near the end, and now I understand more why people hate on the pre-sequel.
Hopefully Borderlands 3 doesn't pull this.
I would hope they wouldn't, because it's a numbered title for the series, and since it's not like a side group doing it, it's actually the normal group. But again, there's been a lot of issues still with like casting that they've been having lately, though, too.
Of course, because Randy Pitchford's a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, and he's been mispronouncing things that he keeps trying to say, like, oh, there's no microtransactions, but then
That's not mispronouncing, that's just not knowing what the fuck you're talking about.
And that's been causing more fan outrage, is because he's saying things, not
Yeah.
realizing what he's saying, and then when he understands it, it's like, oh, well, that's their fault for misunderstanding what I was trying to say. It's like, no. So, that's where I was on that one. So, I just finished playing the pre-sequel for the first time. There was, like, one other DLC, but I'm like, I'm not going anywhere near that. Not after that shit show. I cannot put myself through another one.
Nope.
So, that's why I just started playing Borderlands 2 last night. So, huzzah! We're back to the good stuff.
Yep.
So, there's one of my games.
So, I've been going through... We bought Graveyard Keeper for me... God, I don't even know, a couple months ago?
Yeah, about.
And I just plugged myself back into that game, and... So, for those of you that don't know, Graveyard Keeper is... If you've played Stardew Valley, you're very familiar with the gameplay loop, where it's, hey, you've got a bunch of shit you can do throughout the day, you just kind of have to prioritize what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big things that's different between Stardew and Graveyard Keepers, you don't actually have to go to bed at a certain time. You just sleep when you run out of energy, which, depending on what you're doing, is very quick.
That's kind of nice, though, because you actually can have, like, a whole day-night cycle, and that's actually part of Stardew that I don't like, is that you can't, like, try to stay up through the night and have, like, cool events happen during that time if you have the energy for it.
Yeah, no, with this one you just have to fall asleep whenever you, like, run out of energy, or you can meditate, like, if it's something, like, super quick, but I've had to do that a few times, just, like, trying to build up stuff to upgrade, like, my, like, morgue. Mm-hmm. So, like, here's the shit. You have to manage a morgue. You have to manage a church. You have to manage a farm. You have to, like, you have to go fight shit. You have to manage a quarry. You have to make zombies so they can do that shit for you. Like, it's... If you're familiar with Stardew Valley or a Harvest Moon or those type of games, you're very familiar with this gameplay loop.
Yeah, just, like, I guess, like, we finally got it. We kind of thought of the genre name a little bit the other day, being kind of like Farm Simulator.
Yeah, it's pretty much just a sim game, but you get into this repetitive loop, and I should pull up Steam and see how many hours I have, because I played the other day. Mm-hmm. I played so long, I forgot to eat.
Yeah, what'd you say, like, you played for, like, 13 hours on accident?
No, that was for another game.
Oh, that was the other one, that's right.
That's for a different game.
Yep. But either way, like, I was at work during that time, and I just came home from break and stuff, and she's playing it. I come home after I finished, and she was just getting off.
Yeah. I just hit 17 hours in Graveyard Keeper.
So you've had about, like, maybe, like, an 8-9 hour session.
9. I had 8 hours beforehand.
Yes, you...
I'm at to the point now where I need to build crates, and I need to make a zombie gardener and get enough seeds so I can ship vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Or make 200 fucking bowls and ship those. Like, I'm to the point where, like, all of my missions are kind of, like, halted. And I'm also I had to... So one of the missions I was on, I had to get acid to clear off a book.
Oh, God.
And unless you have the alchemy table, the only way you could get the acid is by talking to the witch. Which, by the way, getting to her is a fucking nightmare because it's like a maze through a swamp. And they don't tell you what tiles you can't walk on.
Otherwise, the wrath of Thor comes out of the sky.
No, that's trying to go into town. Which, there's apparently a lore reason for that.
Huh, interesting.
But, you have to go through the swamp and buy a fucking...
I'm just looking at your Steam library.
And so you have to go through the swamp and buy a fucking acid from her, or have Alchemy Table 2. I thought. Turns out, you don't need Alchemy Table 2. I already had everything because I've been fighting flies for 3 hours in the game.
Oh my god.
And just had all the stuff to make acid.
That's
So I just did that after I, looped around and did her fucking shit. It was no. I did that wrong. No, you need Alchemy Table 2 for that. You either have to get her a cauldron or give her a healing potion.
Okay.
In order to get to the point where you can buy shit from her. Which, by the way, she's the only one you can buy apple seeds from, so you can have an apple tree.
Oh my gosh.
This was a goddamn nightmare.
Oh my lord.
And yet, I still didn't stop playing, because I still played for another 2 hours past that.
Man, because you love games like that. And I understand
do.
why. I've never played a game like that until I played Stardew Valley, a couple years ago. And that game just sucked away my entire winter break.
Yeah, I tend to get into these games with gameplay loops. So Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing, Stardew, these type of games are typically the ones that kind of eat my life.
Well, the nice thing is because, with Stardew Valley, on a side note, that since they added multiplayer, that game has rejuvenated a love for that game that we both had, because getting through the game by yourself, it's fun, but ever since they added multiplayer and we started playing together, we cannot play through that game on a single-player run anymore.
I tried going back to an old file of mine, and it just did not work.
No, because we love the fact that you can kind of divvy up tasks between the more people and actually experience the joys of running the farm together.
Now, I don't think this part of the DLC's out for Stardew, but I think where you could actually separate your money
and then
is coming pretty soon, and you could have, a bigger farm, and you could each work a section of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily want our money to be divvied up.
Because it actually forces everyone to communicate with each other and actually know how to divvy up the money and funds for everyone.
Yep.
This way, everyone has to kind of pull their share.
I already have it up.
Yeah, so. But this allows everyone to then have to pull their weight for the funds to come in. If one person's pulling a fund, they can have more leverage over hey, I want to buy this because I've been saving us this much money.
It's not out yet. It's coming eventually, though.
Okay. And plus, I like the idea.
Oh my god, I have 141 hours in this game. What the hell?
I think I have more than you do.
Barely, 160.
Yeah, it's approaching
That's too many!
That's approaching my top game of Steam hours in it, although I know I'll surpass it with the other game I have to talk about today.
Yeah, for sure.
But either way, Stardew Valley is one of those fun games, but otherwise on the note for the game she was talking about, Graveyard Keeper, it's been one of those good ones. If you enjoyed Stardew Valley, it's a good pickup, or if you enjoyed Harvest Moon when you were younger, or if it's a game that you've been picking up recently and you're emulating it, they're definitely fun games. It's something I never tried growing up, but I really wish I would have.
Yeah, no, I just like these games with these, gameplay loops where it's the same thing, but you can choose how your day goes. So, Animal Crossing just doesn't really apply to, because you still have to do, you still have to earn your house.
Damn you, Tom Nook!
But, like a Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, that was the one that, Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life is the one that introduced me to these type of sim games, where you have to manage your time responsibly, because you can only spend so much time with your animals, and so much time on your crops, and so much time trying to either get a husband or a wife, depending on what game you're playing.
Yeah.
Because A Wonderful Life you were playing as a boy, Another Wonderful Life you're playing as a girl.
That's interesting, actually.
Yep.
Huh.
So they basically just released the same game, except it's just a different gender.
That's interesting, though.
It was actually super fun. I had both. I owned both games.
That's smart, though, for marketing purposes, though.
There was also a cheat in that game. If you take because I had it for GameCube. If you took your GameCube controller, threw it into the fourth controller slot, and pressed Z, and then switched it back, you would get random items. Just like random seeds and shit.
I love when games did that. Like, where you just, like, if you put the controller in a certain slot and did something, you got different stuff.
Yeah.
I miss those days so much.
But I think I had a file where I was on year 5 and, like, fully upgraded my farm, and I married the doctor and had a kid running around, and I had a dog and a cat. Because you could have both in that game.
Yeah, Stardew Valley, please fix that. I want to have more pets.
I had cows, I had a horse, I had goats, I had chickens and ducks. Like, I had put too much time into that file.
I think we all have, like, that one game we invest way too much time in. When you look back on it, it's like, man, why did I do this to myself? But then you remember, like, yeah, you know what? That was worth it.
So, we were talking about this. There was a trending thing on Twitter, which is your favorite 4 games.
Oh my god!
So, I guess we're gonna side rail here.
That's the joys of a podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna take a detour real quick.
Yeah, it's because, again, most of the people that watch me on Twitch or anything, you guys have Twitter, so you guys have probably been seeing this blowing up lately of, like, your 4 favorite games. And this actually was hard for me.
So what were your 4?
If I remember correctly, the way I said them was, and this one is true right out of the gate, Halo Reach is going to be the numero uno on that list, no matter what.
I mean, it's Halo.
It's Halo for me, so there's already that love, but the fact it was Reach as well, that's a given, because that is my favorite game of all time, probably.
Yeah, it's also the best, like I said, it's just the best Halo game.
Yeah, like, I know a lot of people prefer 2 or 3, but for me, it's Reach.
Yep.
Outside of that, Diddy Kong Racing, because that was my very first video game I had ever played, and that's fair. I think I said Pokemon Soul Silver, because I love the second generation. Soul Silver was fun because you got Lugia on the cover again, and Lugia is just a really dope bird. Can't be really too mad about that.
Sorry, Hello.
And then 4, we both had the same answer on this one, but...
I might actually change mine.
Fair enough. But otherwise, it was Persona 5. That game is so much goddamn fun! I invested 140 hours into one playthrough of that game, but goddamn, I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah, we might be going through New Game Plus before Royal comes out.
Yeah, and that actually might be one I would love to stream, is playing through Royal with everybody.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're probably still going to go on the boat of Fudabe. What?
Pick Queen, you coward. You're just upset because she could kick your ass.
Yeah, but after playing Dancing Starlight, we realized there's a darker side to Haru that may almost be fascinating to try to see how that plays out.
Also fair.
That actually has been enticing me lately. Like, I almost want to see how this plays.
Alright, fair.
So those were my 4 that I had.
So mine were Animal Crossing, because I've played too many hours on the GameCube version.
Again, if you guys were watching the podcast from 2 weeks ago for E3, you saw her freak out for the new one.
Kingdom Hearts, the original. And not even Final Mix, just the original shitty Kingdom Hearts.
Vanilla.
The vanilla Kingdom Hearts, which I love. I'm gonna actually change one of my answers to Harvest Moon now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Specifically, Another Wonderful Life. So the girl won.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I can't remember what my 4th was from yesterday.
Because I know you switched Persona 5 out then for Harvest Moon.
Yeah, but I can't remember what the 4th one is.
Like, I'm sitting here trying to think, because I know what you said. But my brain is drawing a blank.
This is kind of a problem.
I know. I was gonna...
I just remember it was a JRPG.
I know it was...
Oh, Final Fantasy VI!
That's what it was. Kefka.
Yeah. Kefka, Terra, the whole cast of that game was great.
What you would do if you get a remaster of that game?
Order it immediately.
Take the Animal Crossing reaction tenfold?
Nah, about the same.
Okay, fair. But yeah, so those are your 4, though, and I gave my 4.
Alright, so back on topic.
Yeah. So back on the things that we have been playing recently. So, as I mentioned, we had Borderlands 3 sequel, we have Graveyard Keeper for her. The other one I've been playing a lot lately, and this has actually been the case for almost a few months now. Yeah, about 2 months. Yeah. That's about when I picked it up. For those that know me, it's like, I've even said it before, it's like, I love Dungeons & Dragons. One of those things I wish I could do more often, but with my friends and my schedule, it's just not really doable. So, because of a streamer that we watched, he showed off a game called Pathfinder Kingmaker. And I was intrigued, but we played it smart and kind of watched some of the playthroughs before we bought it. It looked fascinating, and it's a CRPG, something I've never played before. Mm-hmm. And I fell in love with it.
I think you have played a CRPG before, you just didn't know what it was called.
Oh, yeah, because I've dabbled around with Neverwinter Nights. Barely.
But you still played the genre.
Yeah, just not enough to really appreciate what it was. But I played this one, and I fell in love immediately. Mainly because when I played Dungeons & Dragons, the one me and my friends played a lot growing up was Pathfinder. just because we were able to do a lot more homebrewing and a lot of shenanigans that you should not be able to normally do in a normal D&D game.
Yeah.
But I just enjoyed how the world was built. I love the story. I love how your choices affect the world and what happens. And just like how your decisions how to handle situations will affect everything around it. Mm-hmm. And the fact of how you build your character is really unique. I love how it all flows. To the point where I had a character that I had invested 40 hours into. I then got, like, we talked it out, and we ended up getting a DLC that gave us tieflings to be added, along with an extra bonus character. And I went back and restarted the game to play as a tiefling flame warden that, oh my god, she kicks so much ass. And I'm back to do another 40 hours of the game. So we're at 80 hours altogether to be playing this game, and I love it still.
Have you caught back up to where you were in the original file?
Just about to. I have to still kill, like, the troll leader that has resistance to fire.
Okay.
Which means I have to kill that one asshole again.
Oh, good. That one again.
So, yeah. I just love the world building in that game. Like, that's a game you can get lost in for hours without realizing it, and getting to build your own kingdom and being able to play, like, a D&D game by yourself still, but still having, like, a cast of characters that can be with you, or even creating your own unique characters to join you on the adventure as well. So if you wanted to have an idea of you and your friends playing a game, you could technically set that up. It just requires a lot of gold.
Yep.
So be ready for a lot of grinding and just random shit to kill and hope that you sell a lot of crap.
Yeah.
But it's one of those games I feel like I'll probably be playing spend a lot of time into, and if I feel like it, maybe I would consider streaming it, but that's going to be a long haul for people to want to sit through.
Yeah. The streamer that he brought up, I think, played Kingmaker for over 250 hours on 2 files.
He has over 300 episodes for the current one he's doing.
Yeah. Well, that one's over. He finished it.
Finally.
Yeah, he finally
But yeah,
finished
like
it.
that, and those episodes are like a half hour each or something when he posts them on YouTube.
Half hour to 45 minutes.
And there's 300 of them.
Yep.
So, just to show how long of a game it is, and the fact that how many choices you make, and that's probably also incorporating safe scumming, but to be fair, we all would do it.
Well, and the other thing to, like, think about is, because, like, going through the same thing with PoE, with Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah.
Because I've been playing that one a little bit. I've kind of taken a break off of it.
You hit it pretty hard.
Yeah. But, like, you could beat probably both games in an hour. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to, but those games aren't meant to be played like that. You're meant to go get lost and do side missions and clear areas, and it turns a game from an hour into 300.
And that's the thing. Like, in Pathfinder, I think you could, but at the same minute, though, there's enough time restrictions on stuff and enough level gapping that you kind of are forced to take the side routes.
But not all of them. Like, you're not meant to hunt, like, if you didn't 100% complete the game, you could probably be done with that game in maybe 15, 20 hours.
Yeah, because there's certain creatures hiding in the areas I found out the other day. I went back to one of the old maps recently in my new file, where I didn't realize there was some extra shit in the area. I went behind some bushes and I found a bunch of owlbears, and they fucking kicked my ass.
It's an owlbear. What did you expect?
Exactly. But the thing is, though, it just shows, like, yeah, in every area, there's still things hidden in the areas that if you have a high enough skill in certain things or just RNGs in your favor,
yeah,
you can get into the area, but then you realize that there's something hiding there that's going to mollywop you silly, and you're going to have to come back later when you're a little stronger to where it kind of forces your hand to be like, okay, I have to go train, maybe get a couple extra levels, get some better gear, and then come back.
Yep.
Again, the fighter in my group has a freaking armor class of 38. So anything attacking her is, like, damn near impossible to get damage in, and they end up hurting themselves because she has a special armor on that will actually do damage back to them when they attack her.
Yep. So
it's just hilarious to watch people even fight her. So it's just one of those games that I honestly enjoy, especially because there's so many choices you can do, and you can play as, like, any class you want. And they've added so many more classes that were never there in Pathfinder when in the last couple of years that me and my friends played it.
Yeah.
I never once heard of Flame Warden. But oh my god, it's hilarious.
Bet you wish your friends brought that up now.
We never found them, like, on the Paizo website. It was never there originally. So the developers must have added stuff.
Probably.
Oh, and oh my god, I'm so glad they did, because every class, like, your basic D&D class, here's a fighter, here's a rogue, here's a ranger, here's a, like, just, like, here's your generic classes, and, like, in each class there's a bunch of side classes that you could end up picking instead, and it was great. Mm-hmm. I love the game. It's fun.
Oh, that's good. So, thanks to Steam Sale, which is what I'm looking at right now, just seeing if there was anything else that piqued my fancy.
Because we always do.
We picked up, for me, 2 Point Hospital. Mm-hmm. So 2 Point Hospital is a spiritual successor to Theme Hospital, which is a super old game. Some of the old devs actually worked on 2 Point Hospital,
which is awesome.
Yeah, so it's still got that vibe to it.
Mm.
It's another management sim game. You're managing a bunch of hospitals and all that. It's just another management style game, but I absolutely adore it. And I had a binge session where we bought the game, downloaded it onto the new computer, and I didn't realize I had played for 13 hours, but I did, because again, it's a gameplay loop.
Mm-hmm.
You get to a new hospital, you gotta do the things to get your stuff to 3-star and just make it function. And then you move on to the next hospital and you do it all over again. And each hospital, the first hospital I got done in, I don't know, probably an hour.
About,
if that. The last hospital I just finished, which was it the university one. It took me... No, it wasn't the university one. Was it?
No, because I remember the university one, you had to come back to that one later.
Yeah, just because I didn't do it right, so I restarted it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ashamed to restart a level if I fuck it up.
I think that's a
No,
fair
it
thing.
was the university. That was the last one I did. And that took me 3 hours, I think, to get that one 3-starred.
Okay.
I have a thing, like, Jurassic World Evolution is a really good example of this, where I have to try to 5-star everything. I'm not a completionist by any means. Like, I play games on easy. You get me from point A to point B, and that's usually good. Except for these type of games, where I have to perfect everything. So, in Jurassic World Evolution, the only island I have not 5-starred is Sanctuary, and that island fucking sucks.
And that's the newest island, if I'm not
It's the
mistaken.
newest island, and the storms are the worst.
Yeah, because those things proc really frequently. They pop, like,
They
right
don't
in the...
proc that frequently. They probably proc every hour or two. But the problem is that you can't... They go for longer than the storms on Sorna.
Mm-hmm.
The storms do way more damage because you're more condensed.
And plus, I don't know if this is bad RNG in your favor. They land, like, right at the edge of where the cages are, and they just go right through everything. They don't, like, go in an opposite direction away from everything. They
And you
land
only
right
have...
on it.
You either have, the dinosaurs that you rescued off of...
Isla Sorna?
No, Nublar North.
Oh, that's right.
And then the 3 new dinosaurs that you could get... Or the dinosaurs that you could get, skeletons for.
And that's all you have.
That's it. Like, in a roster of 62 dinosaurs, you get maybe 15.
So you're almost forced to be smart about what you save.
So here's the thing, is my dinosaurs right now, like, on the island, my facility is 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
My dinosaurs are 2.5. Because I don't have enough dinosaurs to get my variety bonus up. And it's the fucking worst, because it's like, I want to 5-star this island just to say I 5-starred it.
Because you 5-starred all the others.
But the thing that you're supposed to unlock, I have unlocked in my main file. So there's no point in me 5-starring the island. Because it's just for a drivable Jurassic tour, which I really don't want to set up in my other shit, because that's going to take way too much time for me to set that shit up.
I mean, it's fun if you guys enjoy, like, going back and resetting your
I set
islands.
it up in my carnivore pens to go through 3 of the carnivore pens.
That's
Because you
pretty
can set that up to go through multiple pens.
To see the T-Rex chase after that thing would be hilarious.
I have it set up in 3 carnivore pens and my 2 big herbivore pens. So it just drives across and goes through it.
Which is cool, though.
It's cool, but it's... This one is... all these games have something frustrating about them, but that's kind of why, like, it feels good, like, with Jurassic World Evolution when I 5-starred Isla Pena, which is an island about this big, this way,
Yeah.
about this big, about this wide, to 5-star that, and when it gets tornadoes.
And the fact that they proc very frequently and they last a while.
They don't last, like, as long as, like, they do on Sorna, but Sorna's big enough to where, like, if I know a storm's coming, I can just shut everything down, because I have, like, 20 shelters.
But these ones drop right on top of you.
Yeah, and there's a challenge to do that one in challenge mode with all carnivores, which is a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah, because carnivores alone are already finicky. As you throw a storm on top of it, they freak.
I had 5-starred the island with just herbivores, though.
It wasn't easy. It took you a long while to get there, but...
What did Isla Pena took me 5 hours to 5-star, and it took me a reset.
Yeah.
Because I found a guide to how to best set it up.
Yeah, because you have so much limited space, you have to micromanage it.
Yeah, because you go from Matanceros, Muerta, and Tacano, where you have a good chunk of space. Like, on the first 2 islands, I still have room. Tacano is, like, my, like, if I'm gonna test something, I do it on Tacano because I have $400 million.
Well, all the money, and you have, like, every safety precaution under the fucking sun, so if something breaks out, you're ready.
But I also have no room on that island anymore because that's where I test everything. Be like, okay, that's what I have to do. And then I go to an island and actually implement it, so it's my test island. And Sorna, actually, Sorna's pretty full. Pena, I refuse to go back to unless I have to get a new dinosaur. Which, 9 times out of 10, they pick Pena for me to go back to. And then, the other 2, like, The 2 test islands from the Dr. Wu DLC have a little bit of room in, but there's really no point going back to those islands.
I almost think they choose Penna a lot just because that's a harder island.
Yeah, and it's the one that gives everybody the most frustration.
And yeah, that's probably why they keep putting all the challenge stuff there, because they want you to have to go back to the harder island to get some of the stuff that you want.
And I haven't even attempted Sandbox yet.
Well, yeah, like you're more of a fan of actually working with the tools you have. Your Sandbox mode is something you will appreciate after you've suffered through everything else to get there, because you don't like having these spoiled things like, I can do all these things, then when you go back to it, it's like, I miss having access to these things. It's like,
well, Sandbox, you can turn stuff off, you can turn stuff on, and it's cool, but I like having a goal. That's why I'm going through story modes, like for Jurassic World and 2 Point Hospital. Like, it's like, cool, I can do
a Sandbox
Hospital, but why would I? Because I don't have everything unlocked.
You want to appreciate the game for what it is before you spoil yourself on the joys of a Sandbox, where you can just do whatever you want.
So I'm on 13 hours, and I don't actually know how much more I have left.
It's one of those games that definitely relies more on the Sandbox mode afterwards, probably.
Oh, yeah, it's the same with Jurassic World.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, it's a game that you found much joy in, though, and that's important. I find it funny, though, like, you were trying to talk about 2 Point Hospital, and instead we went on...
Jurassic World rant.
Yeah, which is fair, though, because you did play that recently in our time since E3.
Yeah, because the new DLC came out, so I wanted to play it, and I wanted to save the dinosaurs from it exploding.
That alone stressed you out already.
Ugh.
You're on a timer for that half of it.
In a sense, you're on a timer, yeah. Like, I had more than enough time to get everything done.
It's more like just the herbivores breaking out constantly just drove you insane.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the herbivore. Nothing really broke. Like, the carnivores broke out, but that's normal, I guess. But, no, it was the Stegosauruses that I didn't capture that were killing everybody.
Them, and when you're trying to get everyone in line of the fucking viewing stations, and like as soon as all three be in line, like as soon as like the last one get in line, one of the others would walk out. So they almost had like perfect time to like, hey look, this one just walked in and the other's out of range now. So like it's just like swapping from 2 and it's just staying at 2, because every time like the other one would walk in position, the other just disappeared.
I had to reset that island too.
I think you just got to the point where you just tranked it and just dropped it in front of the damn thing because you're just so sick and tired of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because one started, like, walking way too far away, and, like, by the time he comes back over, the other two are going to be out of range, so fuck it, it's getting tranked and getting dropped.
So enjoy our talk of 2 Point Hospital, where we talk about Jurassic World Evolution.
Again, it's a game that she played a lot of, and she still loves it to this day, so.
And when they announce a new DLC, I'll go right back into it.
I know, that's how you always do it. You wait till you get a nice big DLC that gives you a new island, and you have fun with it.
So those were the only 2 things you played, so I guess I still have something to talk about, huh?
The only other thing I would have to talk about is the old school Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh yeah, you've been playing Battlefront 2 a little bit.
Yeah, so not the modern EA Battlefront 2, just to specify that.
We're talking that piece of shit.
We're talking the old school one that came out for like Xbox and PlayStation 2 Battlefront 2. That's the good one. The one that everyone says, if you just made that again, we all would have been happy. No one would have bitched a word. But they had to do what they did.
Yep.
So I wanted to go back and appreciate that game, because that's been on my Steam library for years. But again, since I didn't have like a really good computer to play on aside from my laptop, and I hate using my keyboard on like the keyboard on the laptop, my wrists just got really uncomfortable trying to do that. I have my other keyboard, and I just never wanted to set it up on my laptop. Since we got the new computer, though, it's like, okay, now we have to have the keyboard set up. Why not just use the one that we have here? Oh my god, I forgot how much fun that game is. I went through the story mission with the 501st and everything, going through all those story missions and stuff, getting to play Galactic Conquest again. It's like, oh my god, I forgot how much fun it was.
Mm-hmm.
That game is just hours of fun without even realizing it.
That's fair.
Like, there's not really much else to say. It's just, I miss old school Battlefront, though. Like, that is a game I will go back and play anytime I get the chance to.
EA looked a gift horse in the mouth and just said, fuck you!
Well, yeah, it's because everyone was vocal. Everyone said they wanted just that again.
When we heard that they were making Battlefront, it's like, cool, just make the old ones again.
Yeah, like, I would take a remaster of the original ones any day of the week if they came out. But at the same time, though, when they announced we're doing a new one, it's like, just do these features. Give us a reasonable story mission. Give us Galactic Conquest again, because that is one of the best modes ever.
Yeah.
And have semi-fun space combat.
Not even semi-fun. Battlefront 2 space combat was dope as shit.
Let's be honest, we had as much as fun we tried to bomb the shit out of the enemy ship. You're more enticed to land the fucking landers inside of everyone's other ships, and then just everyone spawn in on that and just try to take over the ship from the inside. It was a nightmare, but goddamn is it fun. Because it makes that gunfighting more hilarious as everyone else is outside trying to just murder each other in space.
Yep.
But that's the thing, though. I want, like, just that again.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I want. We all have a complaint for it, but we're never going to get that, which makes me sad.
Nope.
And again, I know say never, but EA is kind of one of those horses that you just can't really bet on.
Nope.
So those are pretty much the 3 I've been playing lately. We're just started playing Borderlands 2, and again, I'm streaming Pokemon, but we'll go into a deeper Pokemon discussion at a later date.
Yeah. And so for me, so the last game I've been playing this week, so I went back into the Atelier series. Because, like, I went through Furious, which is the second game of the Mysterious arc, and I'll kind of explain how Atelier works a little bit.
It's kind of complicated to understand the first time around.
I'm stuck in Furious again, and this is another game with a gameplay loop. The difference being is that this gameplay loop, the one I'm stuck on in Fierce, is the fucking worst. We've talked about arbitration grinding.
Yes.
We're grinding just for the sake of grinding. Well, that's where I am right now.
That is probably the biggest pet peeve of gaming that you have in any genre, JRPG, or any game that does it, is the forced grinding section. Where it's like, I mean, you have time to kill, but you have to grind in the time being. You can't just fast forward time, or you need these levels to do this part.
To explain, in Atelier Furious, you have a year to go take your alchemy exam. Mm-hmm. And you have to get 3 letters, minimum of 3 letters, to get in. Well, in this file I'm on, I've gotten all 5.
Yeah, because you have tons of time.
By the time you get the 3rd level, unless you've been, like, if you play like me, which isn't super optimized, you still have 200 days.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on, and so you can either say, yes, I'm here for the exam, but then you're locked inside the city until the exam date, and they don't fast forward, or you just stay outside and you keep what I'm doing, which is grinding to try to get a quality 999 thing, so that I can pass the exam with flying colors.
And get a bonus fight out of it as well.
I'm about ready to say fuck it and move on with my life.
But that's the thing, though, is like you're stuck on this, and there's no way to fast forward time, and you're just kind of sitting there waiting, and that's no fun, because you can just go have random combats and just gather resources, but at the same time, I was like, I'm ready to continue on the game, and here's the thing, this is only the first half of the game. Yeah, no,
after this, the game opens up to where no longer time limits or anything, and then you can just move on with the story that way, and that's in lies so I know the old school Atelier games have time limits. You have, like, from what I've seen of Verona, you have X amount of time to complete the missions given to you by the government, otherwise your Atelier shuts down.
Yeah, that makes sense, though, but that's a reasonable time restraint, though.
Yeah, that's a reasonable time restraint. So I'm going through Sophie right now, which is the first in this arc. There's 0 time limit. You just do. You just exist. And I kind of like that, but I kind of miss having, like, a drive or a goal or something to actually move on with my life.
True, but it just seems like what they pulled in Fierce was the wrong attempt for it, where you're, like, on this weird timer, unless you're playing on a hard difficulty where you're having to force your time a little bit more.
Which I'm not.
Yeah, because you play for the story, not the challenge.
Yeah, so I'm playing on easy mode. I don't think, like, hard mode I don't think affects anything but combat.
But that's what I mean, though. It's like, but then I guess that doesn't affect your time either, then.
No.
Because you die, you just reset on the last save, and that's it. You just have to...
You can either reset on the last save, or, like, you lose a day.
But that's the thing, though. It's like, you're not really sacrificing that much, because you have a whole year, and you even mentioned, like, by getting all 5 recommendation letters, and you only need 3, you still have over 200 days left. And it's like, well, now I'm just sitting here with my thumb up my ass. It's like...
Trying to grind 900... Like, trying to grind the best quality water.
But isn't the case, though, like, the map's locked off in certain areas because you don't have to finish that exam first. You're on a time restraint to where you can't do anything until you get that exam done. But if you do that, you're locked in the city, you can't do anything.
About the only thing I could really do, if I so choose, is to go up my actual level. Because, like, my alchemy level's approaching 30s.
Your alchemy level's high.
I'm level 15, in fighting. So about the only thing I could do, instead of just saying, fuck it, I'm not doing this anymore. About the only thing I could really do is now go grind actual level, so that when the world opens up, I'm not going to be, like, in this weird bottleneck.
But the problem is, though, as well, though, like, even when you start grinding levels, time's not really moving that fast.
No.
And therein lies the other problem. It's like, it's not like you can sit in a battle for a little while to help kind of kill time. It's like, you battle pretty much, it almost seems like as soon as you go into combat, time just stops.
No, it goes forward after the combat, but it only goes forward a little bit.
But not enough to make a difference.
And so the other thing with this series that I found out is the LP system. You only have a certain amount of LP to do actions. And you lose it from gathering, you lose it from battling, you lose it from walking.
Oh my god.
And the only way to re-get it is by sleeping. Which is, like, so with Sophie, my lowest character only has, like, 28.
Yeah.
which is fine. You go, you do some gathering, you do some fights.
You have enough to get by.
And then you go back to town and, rinse, lather, repeat.
Mm-hmm.
With Fierce, it's only Fierce's points. You get 100, and that's it. But it's also an open world where you could actually explore, as opposed to, like, the map system that Sophie has, where you just pick a destination, it just takes away some points, and you go into that little area. Whereas with Fierce, you can actually explore the area, and there's certain spots where you get, like, a magic hut that you could just kind of summon and sleep.
Yeah. But it's just, again, it's a gameplay loop that kind of did not maybe fully optimize super well to help you get through the first half of the game, to where a lot of people probably be turned away from wanting to play the game, because especially that's your first intro to it.
I will say, though, the games are cute. They're fun.
You want a cute magical girl game, here you go.
If you wanted a cute anime girl game, well, here it is. It's super cute. I actually like it. I'll get back into Fierce once I just, like, admit that you know what, fuck it. You only need 50 points to pass the exam, and if you do good on the questions, that's 40 points. So, again, the only thing I'm unlocking is a bonus fight, but I don't care about bonus fights, so I might just do some grinding for the last 100 days.
Just to get the level that you feel a little more comfortable.
Just get a better level and then go in and move on with my life. But we'll see. In the house, I have the 3 of the Mysterious arc. So when I say arc, it's usually a series of 3 games that are bundled together, and they tell a complete story within that arc. So you start off, my example with Mysterious, you start off with Sophie, you fast forward a couple of years, and then you get Fierce, and then you fast forward about 5 years, and you get Lighty and Sue.
Yeah.
Which is cute, it tells a complete little arc in them, and then you wrap up.
Well, give people an example of how many games are in the Atelier.
A lot.
Like, what would you say, like 30 plus?
Not that many. I think
mid-20s?
20. Yeah, but mid-20s. They just announced a new one for next year.
Yeah.
It's Atelier Ryza.
And we saw that during E3.
No, we actually saw that during the little Switch thing.
Oh, that's right. But either way, so right now, like, the Mysterious arc that she's playing, those are games 17, 18, and 19.
19, yeah. And I think I have the technical 4th one of Our Land, which is 21.
But to give you guys an example, these games are ridiculously hard to find, though.
They're also... So this is a 20-year-old franchise. And they come out with a game a year because it's a budget franchise, because you could just kind of reuse the same aspects over and over and over again.
That's true.
But it still sells like fucking hotcakes.
But again, it's a very limited sell amount for, like, physical copies. Like, if you want digital copies, have at it. But if you're like that person like we are that like physical copies, good luck.
I had to pre-order... So, I was looking, because in between Lighty and Sue and Lulua, which was the newest one, they came out with one that's kind of a city sim game, which caught my attention because, again, a simulation game. What a shock. We couldn't find it.
And we tried.
Like, we checked every game shop that's in town, we just could not find the damn game.
Yeah, we even considered, like, going pawn shop hunting, but then we just admitted the fact no one in
I'm
our
never
area
gonna
is
find
going to
it.
have it.
If you want to find any of the older games, you either have to buy them digitally or hope and pray someone's selling them on Amazon.
And for a fair price, because if people realize when there's limited physical copies, they will jump on that. We
bought the 3 Mysterious ones probably for $45 total.
Yeah, we actually got them for a really good deal.
Yeah, Lulula we bought at full price because we had to pre-order that one.
They actually told us, like, they're only making the amount that are pre-ordered. If there wasn't one pre-order, they're not making extras.
It's the same with the Pops I just got, like my 2 Yu Hakusho Pops. They're only making the amount that are pre-ordered.
Which makes it that much harder to find one if you're a collector, because that means if you didn't pre-order it, then you're having to probably spend a lot of money just to get a hold of it after the fact, and people know that.
I think it depends, like if it's in this case with the Atelier, like if you want to find the Dusk Saga or the Arland Saga, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to find those games because they're older.
They're older.
I think if you want to try and to find the Mysterious arc, you're going to have a much easier time.
Again, this is one of the problems we come across because we love physical copies of games.
Yeah, I like physically seeing a collection. It's going to be annoying to move, but
we like being able to look on our shelf and see the games that we have, because we can appreciate more having the series ourselves, and we actually then enjoy being able to open the box and seeing the disc, and we miss the days of having, like, the old guidebooks and stuff. We miss those days.
So I found a GameStop for like $10. The original, so it's the PS2 Greatest Hits version of Kingdom Hearts 1 with the book. And it's in good condition.
Now to clarify this, though, we don't have a PlayStation 2 in our house.
No, I just bought it for the sake of having it.
And that's the thing. I have my old copies of, like, the original Halo 1 and 2 for the Xbox, and I don't even have a working Xbox anymore.
Well, the difference is Xbox 360 is backwards compatible.
True, but I also have the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, so why would you want to go do that? You know?
Exactly, but the fact of the matter is, like, I hold on to them because they're part of my childhood that I appreciate, and I want to hold on to those memories.
Yeah.
And plus, it'd be kind of a cool story if we ever do have a child or anything. It'd be kind of cool to be able to show them the games that we grew up playing a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is, like, we love those physical copies. We love it when we have, like, those old guidebooks. It reminds us of the days of, like, being kids in the car on our way home after buying a game. You would read the damn guidebook on the way home to keep yourself hyped, so that way when you get home, you throw your backpack in the corner, kick your shoes off to where God knows where they head off to, and that game is going in, and you're just bouncing up and down your chair, even more excited to play.
Yep.
Because those guidebooks have some cool little facts in them sometimes.
Yeah, they also taught you how to play the game, and like in the case of some of the guidebooks I've had as a kid, like you get like some cool like concept art.
Concept art, like one for me is like in the original Halo handbooks, they actually had all the different aliens that actually would tell you about the species.
That's pretty cool.
And it was kind of cool because, like, you can read about the guns that you have, you can read about the alien species, and actually kind of give you cool little facts and stuff if you actually wanted to open the book and get a little extra information. And I miss those days.
So that was a talk on Atelier Sophie, where we talked about Atelier Fierce and how games need to stay in a physical form.
And how much we miss the old school guidebooks.
Yes.
But, again, like, this is podcast, everybody. We're going to do it how we feel.
You were worried about timing, and that took 46 minutes.
I know. Now we're on to our topic for what we want to talk about today. So, I want to say it's 3 weeks. What's the release day?
The 26th?
Let's look at the calendar here. Yeah, so about 3 weeks.
A little bit about 3 weeks.
Yeah, so in about 3 weeks, we have Fire Emblem Three Houses coming out. So, because of that, and since we both love Fire Emblem, she got me to play it last year, and oh my god, the game is fun. But with Fire Emblem, we want to do a little bit more of an in-depth discussion because there's a new game coming out for the franchise.
Yeah, as I look at my Fire Emblem portion of my shelf, with Awakening all the way down to Warriors.
But, so, to give us some clarification, we also have one other game on pre-order as well, it being Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. But none of us have really played a beat 'em up game, or nor have we ever played the game set of the series before either.
I played a little bit of Marvel Ultimate Alliance, like, as a kid, but I wasn't huge into beat 'em ups. Typically, if you put Marvel on it now, though, I will buy it.
Spider-Man's a good observation of that one. That game was way too much fun, as you guys saw me play for that one.
Spider-Man was too much fun. We went to go see Spider-Man Far From Home last night.
Yeah, like, we've enjoyed a lot of the Marvel stuff that we've been coming out lately. But again...
Typically, like I said, you put Avengers on it, I will buy it.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, since neither of us really know much about that franchise for, like, that game style, personally, because neither of us have really played much of it, we don't really know how to approach really discussing that one at the moment.
It's a stream idea for you if you get too frustrated with your,
Nuzlocke,
Your Nuzlocke.
Yeah, so there's an idea for a stream for a day that we may consider doing. But
yes, I do have them.
Yeah, but this also gives us something to talk about after we play to kind of give our thoughts about it. But for now, Fire Emblem's a genre that is going to be coming out soon with its new game. We've played them a bit. They're fun, and we can kind of go into some detail about what we think of the series, kind of give some back stuff on it, and along with what we're seeing is coming up.
Yeah. So before I go into the wiki...
Yeah, give us some help here. We're going to need it.
So I guess I never asked you this question, because I kind of just threw Fire Emblem Awakening at you and said, play this.
And I was not certain if I was going to like it.
What did you think the series was before you started playing it? Because this is a fun question to ask people who have never played Fire Emblem after they play Fire Emblem.
Well, here's the thing. The most interaction people have with Fire Emblem, if they don't know, is when they play Marth, Roy, or Ike in Smash Bros.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the majority of what you know of Fire Emblem. You hear about it, it's like, Fire Emblem, I've never heard of this series before, and that's pretty much it.
So, like... When they were announcing, like, because when I first started dating you and I mentioned, oh, I really wish they would have put Chrom instead of Lucina in Smash, and you're just like,
huh? I wasn't certain what she was talking about, because, again, I didn't know anything about Fire Emblem.
At that moment, I told him he was playing the games. So, what did you think Fire Emblem was, and what do you think about it now?
So, to give some idea on that one, when you want me to play Fire Emblem, I wasn't sure what to expect exactly, because all I had known with the characters were the sword wielders. So I'm thinking something like, okay, a little bit more of a old school like knight kind of story, a little bit maybe with them. I wasn't sure if it was gonna be like a hack and slash or something, or if it was just gonna be like kind of like a fighting game almost, like a Soul Calibur, where you actually have like the weapons you have to like fight in a circle. That's kind of what my general idea of what to expect was. I wasn't really sure what I was gonna be getting into.
Fair.
But after you would show me what Fire Emblem was a little bit, and after I started playing it, it's like, okay, here's a grid. It's kind of like an old school, like, tactics game.
Well, I think it's listed as a
Actually, see right there, tactics and role playing.
Yeah, so it's a TRPG, so it's a tactical role-playing game.
Yeah, so if you guys played, like, Final Fantasy Tactics or, like, Pokemon Conquest is a good example.
Yeah, any of those games where you have to kind of operate on a grid. XCOM sort of fits the bill as well, because...
It has a grid system still in the sense.
It's a grid system, and you do have to kind of plan your moves out ahead of time. So it's like a really advanced game of chess.
Yeah, it's an advanced game of chess with a lot of random numbers being processed, seeing if you're going to hit, are you going to miss, are you going to crit, are they going to crit you, is your weapon going to break?
Yeah, and in the older games, I don't know if they're bringing the weapon durability thing back into Three Houses, because they took it out for Fates. I know that.
I know a lot of people were not happy about that, though.
I also know people that were happy about that, because that could bring up a whole other topic of why people didn't like Breath of the Wild.
Haha, yes. But the thing is, I wasn't sure what to expect. When I realized it was more of like a tactics strategy game, I honestly fell in love with it instantly, because for me, I love strategy. I love having to think and outthink my opponents. That's why I love playing StarCraft.
Yeah.
Because I love the fact that you have to be smart on your build. You have to kind of know how to counteract a certain move and everything. And again, one of my favorite games on the 360 was playing Halo Wars. Because you have to outthink your opponent. I played the game online so fucking much because I love the idea of having to outthink people.
Yeah.
You have to know how to strategize. So for me, I'm playing through, getting like all these characters like, okay, here's a lord, here's a knight, here's a cleric, here's a wizard, here's a Pegasus knight. It's like you come across all these cool characters and they all actually have unique stories to them.
Yep.
Which made it cool to get integrated into the story. So like when you come across these characters, you kind of learn about who they are, why are they here, what's their motivation. And
let's specify here that both of us started on Fire Emblem Awakening, which does seem to be a lot of people's first Fire Emblems.
Because it was the most accessible one to get, because the ones that had Ike in it for the GameCube were kind of hush-hush in the US, I feel like.
Well, here's a fun fact.
Shoot.
No games in the series were released outside Japan until Martha and Roy were included in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Their popularity eventually convinced Nintendo to release the game Blazing Blade in Western regions under the title of just Fire Emblem in 2003. This is another one kind of like Final Fantasy, where the titles get fucking screwy.
Yeah, you don't really
Blazing Blade is Roy, by the way.
Okay, that makes sense.
Many games in the series sold well ever since then, despite a decline during the 2000s, which resulted in the series' near cancellation. Individual entries have been praised, and the series as a whole has been lauded for gameplay, and yeah, blah, 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 blah. So that it's now actually considered, like, the game in the TRPG genre.
Interesting.
Considering it almost ended. It actually, if it wasn't for Awakening, it probably would have.
Because Awakening was just a massive success.
Yeah, so to actually give you an idea, that was the first game to come out in the West, was Roy's.
And the funny thing is, too, is, like, for a lot of, like, if you talk to, like, a lot of veterans of the series that, like, started before Awakening, a lot of them actually kind of shit on Awakening because of it.
Yeah, I can understand why. I can't understand. It's kind of... It's casualized the series a little bit because of the edition, which has been since... Actually, here's my thing. Since New Mystery of the Emblem, which was a remake of the first game.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it on casual mode, so if units die, they'll just come back.
And that's actually a major thing of Fire Emblem, that there's a permadeath system.
If you set it up that way.
In the modern ones now, yes, but in the original releases back in the day was, if a character went down, that's it. They're not coming back.
So, old school players of the series kind of bitch about the casualization of Fire Emblem, plus the kind of waifu mode, where you can, in Awakening and in Fates, you can marry people. And thus, when you marry people, you can actually make offspring.
Which get a weird hybrid setting of both characters' last learned abilities.
Yeah, they'll get some of their parents' abilities, so you can either completely fuck over a kid by just throwing your last couple of guys together just to get everybody. Or you power them up, because I have had some people.
Oh my god.
I'm thinking specifically Birthright, and you know exactly who I'm thinking of.
Oh, I'm aware. And
Selkie.
I destroyed her when I made that character.
No, I did too.
I think my Selkie had, like, Astra, which means she had a chance to attack, like, 5 attacks in a row.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's hilarious.
You give them some fucking ridiculous-ass abilities.
The Kitsune of Death.
You give them some ridiculous-ass abilities. But yeah, so people complain because since Awakening, because it kind of casualized it.
Mm-hmm.
But if it wasn't for Awakening, Fire Emblem probably would have died, because after God, the GameCube games didn't sell super well, so those were Ike's games.
And I know, like, for Ike, he's a very popular and beloved character, and I feel like a lot of people love his series for the games. But at the same minute, though, they just weren't super popular at first.
Also, some of the characters were kind of... Actually, most of the characters in Ike's 2 games, which were...
I don't know, which one had the Dawn Brigade?
Hang on, I'm fucking getting there. Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. See, I have a timeline.
You do have a timeline, thank God.
Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. Some of those characters aren't great.
No.
Like, I love Sothie and I love Soren. But
that's about it.
Sothie in Path of Radiance is really bad. And not a great character. And it kind of just continues that way. Your Dawn Patrol was in Radiant Dawn.
Okay, so that was Ike's games. Yeah, so again, it's just one of those things where the games, like, the way the game was built for a lot of people, it just wasn't a big seller, it seems like.
Yep.
Which almost made it cancel, but because Awakening's success and the casualization actually saved the genre, hilariously enough.
Yeah, and to be fair, Shadows of Valentia, which is a remake of Gaiden, I had to relook at that.
That's fair.
It was a remake of Gaiden, took out some of those features, and it's still super popular, because, again, it's riding off of Awakening.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And then when we had...
And don't get me wrong, I'm singing Awakening's praises. The story fucking sucks.
We've watched so many
Fates
YouTubers...
have the same problem. Like, the story is god-awful.
It's very stereotypical anime bullshit.
It's your stereotypical anime bullshit, but I can't help but love my stereotypical anime bullshit.
It works for a reason. That's why they're able to make so many different animes.
Exactly.
The formula works.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
In this sense, yes.
So, now what do you think of the series after playing Awakening? Because you played Awakening, you played Birthright, and I accidentally deleted your file of Conquest.
There's a whole story on that one I'll probably explain here in a moment. But deal is, after playing through Awakening almost twice now, finishing the run of Birthright, I honestly love it. I love the fact of, like, how you get to learn about these characters a little bit. I kind of love learning their stories so much, because you feel invested. So, like, if you were to play on the difficulty of permadeath, their deaths mean something to you.
Yeah.
So, one of the characters that me and Svenner both agree that we love to death is Cordelia.
Oh, yeah, my Pegasus Knight.
She is a Pegasus Knight in Awakening that we both have just fallen in love with. She is awesome because she's a great character. I love her story. She has probably one of the better kids to get stuck with.
Severa?
Yeah, Severa's probably...
I had to think about that.
Yeah, Severa's one of the fun kids I love having in the game. But I just love her attitude the entire time. Very, like, willing to keep going forward and willing to fight the good fight.
Yeah.
We love her, and plus we just love the name, too.
Yeah, the name Cordelia is a super cool name.
It is. But the thing is, though, like, when I'm... Like, the example is, like, if I was to go through a run where permadeath is there, and if she goes down, I probably would huck the DS out of anger, going, no! Or be that asshole who just resets the game and, like, this is not happening. She must survive!
You have no idea. Like, there's a level in Conquest, and I think it's level 11.
Oh, God!
You know exactly what level I'm talking about. Yeah. I've had to reset that level about... On my most recent run, I had to reset 9 times.
Oh, my God.
And in my original run of Conquest, I had to reset that level about 12 times.
I think I lucked out.
You did it once, and I hate you.
Because I just got a lucky roll, and I think I just had put someone in just the right location. They just ate every attack and just would not go down.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but hot damn, they saved my ass.
To give you an idea, this level in Conquest is you have to defend 4 spots. And if any enemy touches those 4 spots in 9 turns, you die. Or to get, whatever, they fucking stick a sword up you or something. I don't know. It just kind of says you fail.
Yep.
So you kind of have to strategically place everybody to kind of limit the amount of casualties. Odds are people are going to die.
Yeah.
But you just kind of limit your casualties as best as you fucking can.
I think I lucked out in my first attempt at it because I know because after the file accident I had to redo the mission again.
Yeah.
But the deal was, like, I think I got lucked out because I had the archer in the team, which I don't think you had him in your group.
Oh, Virion?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You took Virion out. No, Virion's Awakening.
Who the fuck's the archer?
The eye patch dude.
Oh, no, I had Niles.
I thought you had Niles out of your team at that time.
No, I had Niles in my team at that point. I took him out after that.
Okay, like I think I had Niles set up in a better spot than maybe where you were putting him at, to where I was able to kind of snipe. And I think I used the older sister on the dragon. I
Camilla.
I had Camilla set up in a great spot where she was just able to eat hits forever.
Yeah.
And I was able to actually send her off to go just start whittling the numbers down to that way I could actually hold off in certain areas then when I knew they'd be coming to where I could strategically set people up. Because she's probably one of the most broken characters in Fire Emblem that we've seen.
There's far more broken characters.
There's far more.
She's broken early game.
Yeah, for like when you get her at chapter 11 there, holy crap, she's busted.
She's busted early game. She doesn't really scale typically well.
No, but the fact of the matter is that being a Wyvern Lord who uses axes and magic, that's a pretty deadly combination. Because she has distance,
fun.
And when you get closer, she's going to hit hard.
Not to mention that axe is also distance, too.
It is, and the fact that she also gets good evasion with being on the Drake. So, yeah, it's just, be wary of archers.
Yeah, and that's usually the problem is, like, if you have one point, like, not set up correctly, they just come flooding in, and you are so screwed.
And there's so many archers, too, because they are meant to be able to counterbalance the fact that you have her showing up.
Yeah. But I'm glad I was able to show you a series that you actually ended up liking, because I played Awakening at launch, but I borrowed a copy, so trying to find an actual copy of Awakening is a nightmare most days.
Although we've seen a couple copies at GameStop now, but actually on sale now, too, because originally that price didn't go down for a long time.
$50 on a $40 game.
That came out like 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, longer than that.
Now, when did Awakening come out?
2012.
So that came out in 2012, and
7 years ago.
We just are now seeing a price drop in it.
Yeah, that Fire Emblem Awakening and Persona series games tend to hold their price really well.
Because they're well-made games.
Yeah. Birthright, or the Fate series hasn't held its price super well.
Mainly because the Fate games are not as loved, because there's some weird mechanics they chose to go with.
Well, Birthright's fine. So, to kind of explain, Fates has 3 games. Birthright, Revelation, and Conquest. We'll talk about Revelation in a minute.
Yeah.
But Birthright and Conquest are easy mode and hard mode.
It's literally based on the game you buy.
Well, it just depends on the file you get. Like, I didn't get a physical copy of Birthright until last year because I bought Conquest, and at the time there was a sale where if you just bought the digital copy of the other game, it was cheaper.
Yeah.
So instead of spending $80, I spent $60 on both games.
Even though you wanted to get the deluxe edition, but by the time you got down, they were already gone.
There was a reason why we jumped on Three Houses so fast.
Yep, those are very limited.
I missed the special edition of Birthright and Conquest by an hour.
But the cool thing is, though, is that we get a really cool calendar.
Yeah, we're getting some cool shit with it.
Yeah, so we actually have some cool shit to where I don't mind spending the extra money for that one.
What did we spend?
About 120.
I thought it was at 180. No, 180 was
God of War one.
Yeah,
that was damn worth it, though.
Oh, yeah. But, anyway, so Birthright's easy mode. You get a bunch of extra missions. You're not limited on how much money you can get. And it's typically considered the right choice of game. Whereas Conquest, you're limited on your money, you're limited on your missions.
Yeah, so you don't really get a good chance to grind up levels or anything.
And that's exactly, you don't get a good chance to grind, and you kind of have to manage your resources a little bit better.
A lot more strategy.
Revelations.
Personally, I would argue technically Revelations is the right choice, but
the other point is Birthright is your typical Fire Emblem missions, which is route all the enemies or do it in X many turns.
Yeah.
Conquest varies it up a little bit, like when we talked about Chapter 11, which was hold the enemy for 9 turns, and Conquest missions tend to fall. There's a lot of routing the enemy, but there's also a lot of
hold this position for so many turns.
Hold the position, or just stuff that's different that makes the game a little harder.
Get this unit to this point to be able to win, otherwise you lose.
Exactly. Whereas Revelations tries to take the middle road. You get kind of sort of the weird Conquest missions more frequently.
And they're not fun versions of them.
And they're not fun!
We have seen videos. I have not played Revelations yet. I was going to, but again, because the Conquest incident, I've been having trouble trying to go back. I need to, and I will. But I will play Revelations, and oh my god, I've seen the missions. I want to already shoot myself to see what I'm about to put myself through.
To give you an idea, I have beaten both Birthright and Conquest. Birthright I've beaten a couple of times. Conquest I'm working on a second beat. I got to, Chapter 9 in Revelations, and hard stopped.
And that's the thing, whenever you talk to me about Fire Emblem, this is the black sheep that no one wants to admit to. Especially because, fun fact, Revelations is only available digitally. There was no physical release for that one.
Thank God.
You literally had to buy the digital version of the other game to then have access to get Revelation. So it's the mystery part of the game that you have to literally get a digital version of.
Yep.
And now we see why they had to do that, because that game was not worth paying money for.
No, that wasn't worth the $20 I spent on it.
Yeah.
It's worth it now, because now I could go back and that's horrible. But at the time, like I said, I got to Chapter 9 and hard stopped. I was like, wow, this fucking sucks.
Which sucks, is that's, like, honestly the better choice in the end. It's kind of going in the middle of the road, because you're not really picking one family over the other. You're kind of having to unite both families.
Yeah, I had a whole video idea because based on what was the correct choice.
And you stand more on the firm of Conquest.
No, I say Birthright. Bushido over Nor.
For some reason, I thought you... yeah.
I go into, like, colonialism and, like, the idea that Birthright's based in Japan, where Conquest is based in Europe. And I go into a whole, like, historical thing, like... So I'm looking at it from a history point of view, that Birthright, technically made by a Japanese company, is the right choice because you're basically defending Japan.
But also at the same moment, though, we had... Because the difference between the two games is one's based on blood family, the other's based on the family that raised you.
Yeah, so it's basically the idea of Birthright being your birth family versus, like, basically adoption.
Yeah, but it becomes that adopted family is the one that raised you your entire life since you're, like, 4 years old.
Blood right versus circumstance. I guess that's a better way of looking at it.
Exactly. To where you don't know your real birth family. But you really...
Where the easy choice in the beginning is to take your adopted family, your circumstantial family.
Because that's the family you've known your whole life.
So it's... Birthright's a little bit hard to get into because all of a sudden there's these people that you don't know and don't give a shit about.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I'm picking them because... For the sole fact of this is my blood family.
Mm-hmm.
But the game gets easier over time because you realize that your dad's a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
Your dad.
Oh my god, yeah, that's a whole
I don't
thing.
want to spoil too much, even though this game came out... Fates came out 4 years ago.
But this encourages you guys to do a little bit of research yourselves, too.
Yeah. Like I said, I had a whole video script about the idea of colonialism versus nationality or nationalism, and it's a whole fucking thing.
Yeah, and the only reason why I don't want you to feel like I was trying to steamroll you or anything, but I just wanted to explain the fact that there was, like, a massive age point to bring up with the fact of when you were pretty much put into the adopted family, because I feel like if you were, like, 10 years old and then you went to the adopted family, then, yeah, you kind of have a reason to...
you were like a baby.
And that's why I wanted to specify that point, because for a lot of people, be like, okay, yeah, you want to go with your birth family, but then it's like, oh, you didn't really know your birth family at all, then. It's literally adoption at birth.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Like I said, I don't want to spoil, even though it's a 4-year-old game, I kind of want to encourage people to play this series more, because Fates has its issues, don't get me wrong, but the game is still a ton of fun, and frankly, you come to grow and love the characters, which, one of the reasons why I love Awakening so much is because Matt Mercer's in it.
And that's like, Matt Mercer voiced Crom.
Yep, and in Fates he voiced Ryoma.
Yeah, so two of your favorite characters.
Two of my all-time favorite characters. Surprisingly, not because Matt Mercer voiced them, I actually really... Crom's a flawed character, and I think they could have exploited that more. But Ryoma's your typical, I'm going to try to protect everybody, and then he realizes everything that he was raised.
He was a dope-ass samurai, too, with a thunder sword!
Yeah, no, Ryoma's dope as shit.
I don't have to spoil jack shit, that just makes him sound like a badass. It's like, I want to see this dude now.
Like, I actually prefer Ryoma over Crom.
Agreed.
But I love both characters.
Also, just be warned, you play Birthright, Ryoma breaks the whole game. You get Ryoma, you win!
It's the same in Conquest. You get Xander, you win.
Yeah, with a caveat, though. He does not hit as accurately as... Ryoma has fucking distance, and he hits almost 100% of the time. Xander has a lower accuracy.
If you level him up correctly...
And if RNG's in your favor.
So that's the other thing about Fire Emblem is it's an RPG, but you have very little access to the skills. Like, you have certain items that can up certain points in your skill. Other than that, it is all RNG.
Which is funny, because, like, okay, I'm going to level 2. I got a point in everything. Or, hey, I got to level 2. I got a point in luck, the dump stat. What the fuck?
I either got a point in luck and health, or just health.
Yeah, it's like you get the dump stat.
I've had some bad level ups.
Yeah, it's like you either get like the kick-ass level up that gives you a point in everything.
So you might have had good RNG on Ryoma to where his speed stat goes up, which affects his accuracy. I did not, and he missed 3/4 of the time.
Oh my god, my Ryoma never missed. It's like, hey look, this dude, die. Oh. Sorry, I got too excited. I was like, just die. Oh look, there's a guy flying 2 spaces away from me. Die, because you could literally just... You have a sword that had lightning, and you could literally just jettison lightning at people to where you didn't even have to get up on the target. It was literally like having an archer.
Meanwhile, Ryoma barely hit for me. So I actually didn't have him in the party very much until I felt like I had to have him in the party because he missed 3/4 of the time.
And that's the other thing about the games, because I know that everyone hates the waifu part of the game. It's almost fun seeing how certain people react in relationships, because you literally could have almost any character be in a relationship together depending on how they set the game up.
Fates also enabled you to have a gay relationship.
Really?
If you're female, you could actually marry Nyx.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Interesting. But the fun thing is that when you start mixing and matching certain characters together because you think it'd be hilarious, I hooked up Ryoma, who's supposed to be the Lord of Hoshido, with the maid that you start the game off with from Conquest. And I was laughing my ass off because it's like the most awkward thing ever because this is a really shit maid, guys. She can't cook, she doesn't know really how to clean, she just makes a lot of mistakes, and I hooked her up with the Lord of Hoshido. It's like, this is the funnest relationship to watch unfold in the century.
So who was your favorite for, I guess it's a good question, especially since we've played the 3 games that have the waifu simulator.
And we've toyed with
Who is your favorite pair up for your character, so either Robin or Corrin? For me, Robin, my favorite pair up was with Stahl, because that kid is broken.
If you get the good levels up, yeah, he is.
And for Corrin, my favorite pair up, I think, was Ryoma, actually.
That's fair.
Because that kid is also kind of busted.
Mm-hmm. So with my setup that I had, I'm trying to think here. Because when I played through Awakening, I've had 2 different setups that I've gone with.
Of course. Like, you typically play it 2 different times.
Yeah. I think when I've hooked up my character as the male Robin, I've actually hooked up with Lissa, which is adorable as shit because he just pulls practical jokes on you constantly, and then you kind of just both enjoy that relationship. And then with Corrin, I hooked up with the ninja. I can't remember her name right now. It's one of Ryoma's holders.
Oh, Kagura?
Yeah, Kagura. That was busted with the kid. Holy fuck.
Alright, who was your favorite Crom pairing?
Crom pairing? Oh, man. The Olivia one that we had is still probably...
Yeah, the Olivia one on my file.
Now, in general relationship builds all around, my favorite one will still go to Donald and Pan. Because that is, like, the funniest thing to unfold. The villager with the rabbit lady.
They're called Tangles.
I know, but just to explain, because if you don't know...
Tagals, sorry.
Tagals, but if you guys don't know, like, what they are, I just want to say, it's literally just a like, pretty much humanoid beast that can turn into the animal. That's how you have the Kitsune. It's just like, you're human, then you can turn into the fox.
Yeah.
Tengus are literally just people that turn into
Tagals.
They turn into giant-ass rabbits. So I put the villager who knows how to hunt paired up with the rabbit lady, and the game of their relationship building, and he makes traps, and she tries to outsmart him, and she keeps losing because he knows how animals think. And it's the funniest thing to where at the end, they fall in a pit together, and he just proposes to her. He's like, so you're gonna get us out of this pit, right? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And it's actually one of the funniest relationships to then have the most busted combo in the game that I had, because you paired those 2 up, they just murdered everything. Nothing stopped them.
Plus, the yarn was kind of busted after that.
I didn't really use yarn, though.
Really? Because I often would take out the parents and put in the kid. Because usually when you get their 2 parent skills, it's just...
Broken out the yin-yang.
City. And I had Launchu and Pan.
You take Launchu out of your party, you're a maniac.
Well, that is until Yarn gets his ability.
Well, that's the thing, though. For you had the bust ability with Yarn. Since I had Longshoe up with Cordelia, Severo was broken.
Yeah.
I kept her and Longshoe together, and oh my god, they just never stopped. It's crit central, everybody!
Especially if you give him Killing Edge, dear
oh
god.
It's a crit every swing.
Yeah.
Every fucking swing is a crit. You can literally hold the line of 5 dudes off and never die as long as he's not getting hit.
Yeah. So... we're going to wrap up here because we've been talking for way too long already. And it's 6 o'clock and I would like to eat dinner.
Fair enough. But to wrap...
Final question.
Okay.
So 3 Houses is coming out. And the whole point of 3 Houses is you have to pick one of 3 houses. Mm-hmm. The Black Eagles, the Golden Stags, and the Blue Lions?
Yeah, the Blue Lions, yes.
Oh, good. Because otherwise this was going to sound like a really bad episode of Legend of the Hidden Temple.
Where are the Silver Serpents, everybody?
I was a Green Monkeys person all the way, or the Barracudas,
the blue Barracudas
all the time. Anyway, that's not the point. What house are you picking?
So
'cause I'll be honest, I am torn.
I know what 2 houses you're torn on.
I either want the Golden Stags because I can never Lawrence, I think his name is.
It's Lawrence, I believe. Yes.
Is adorable looking, and we've actually gotten to see them older. Through the trailer.
Which is something we did not know they were going to do.
No, I didn't realize there was going to be like a time thing, which looks dope as shit.
Which honestly, that time skip honestly makes it look like all those houses go to war in the end.
Yeah. So I kind of want Lawrence, but I want the Blue Lions because it seems like they have the more intriguing, like, group.
Well, especially because you did not like the leader of the Blue Lions at first, and then after you see that
And then
time
after-
skip and you see him wearing a fucking eye patch, it's like, this dude got badass!
It's like, oh, this is Angsty McAngst Pants. Okay, I tend to pick the angsty characters.
And plus, one of the characters that you actually were convinced you wanted to romance is in the Blue Lions as well. And that kind of hurts you more because you're kind of more wanting that as well.
Yeah, there's gonna be multiple playthroughs for sure.
So for me, on that front, where I'm standing, I'm on 2 camps right now. One, because I already know my base stamp, but this is for streaming purposes as well. For my normal playthrough by myself, where I'll just probably play casual, I want to do the Black Eagles.
Oh, why?
They just look like a fun bunch. I like the cast.
It's honestly, that seems like the least popular house.
And that's probably because of the fact of the voice acting for...
No, I think it's just because, like, you look at the entire roster of the Blue Lions and the Golden Stags, and both of them look 10 times better than what you get in the Black Eagles. Which is sad, because the Black Eagles has the only female leader with Edelgard.
And plus, the Black Eagles gets, like, one of the coolest looking banners out of everybody.
True. So
But
you're going purely for aesthetic.
I'm going for aesthetic, and I'm going for aesthetic, but I'm also hoping that maybe because of, like, the story aspects of what they've shown us isn't really giving us the in-depth detail of the characters themselves. I'm hoping there's going to be some fun story building in there.
And I'm grateful they haven't given us, like, everything, because I was worried about that as more stuff came out from Famitsu and Korokoro, that this whole game was going to be spoiled. And then we saw the latest trailer where we got that time skip, and I realized we know nothing about this fucking game.
Our jaws literally dropped.
We thought it was just, okay, you're in a school, you're a teacher, that's it.
And they've changed a lot of the mechanics of how they work, some of the leveling up and changing into new classes. They changed how that worked, but at the same time, they were
But
thinking,
we thought it's like, that's it, you're a teacher, and that's kind of how this is going to go.
You're
which is
gonna-
cool, that's awesome. And then we saw this time skip, and we're just all like, we know nothing about this game now.
because we were convinced you're going to start in one house, and after a while, all 3 houses will come together because your teacher's going to do something to bring the houses together to where they're not separate. And we're thinking, like, okay, that's going to be the case. Instead,
Nope.
we see, no, there's going to be full-on war here, and maybe the houses may come together in the end, but we're not without sacrifice and not enjoying the fact that, holy fuck, we're going to have to fight these idiots probably, and it's going to be great.
It'd be pretty dope, so I'm actually really excited for this game.
So, my final answer is with the group. I'm probably going to do the Black Eagles, hoping that maybe there's going to be some really cool character development in there to really sell that one home. To be like, yeah, the house that everyone seems to be kind of shitting on is going to be pretty good in the end.
Yeah.
But the other half for Twitch is what I'm mentioning. If I want to stream this game, I want you guys to actually vote what house we're going to play as the channel for that run.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, I'm fully open to see what you guys have between Black Eagles, Blue Lions, and the Golden Stags. Whatever you guys vote for, that's the group we'll play as for majority rule as per usual. That'll be the group we join. That's the group of students we're gonna teach. And oh god, may the war be great.
So, I said that was the final question, but I have another it's a 2-part question.
Fair.
First part is who looks like it's gonna be your favorite lord in Three Houses, and I will follow that up with part 2.
Fair. I'm honestly, after seeing that time skip, I'm torn now. Originally, because again, for favorite lord,
You were shipping Edelgard so hard.
I was singing the praises of the heaven that Edelgard's my choice. And even after the time skip, for what we're getting probably about 5 years for what we're seeing, she's still on the list of my favorite lord. However, I am not going to deny the dude from the Blue Lions has sold me.
I'm trying to find their names. Dimitri.
Dimitri.
Oh, I wasn't even close. His name is Claude for the Golden Stags. I wasn't even close.
My name is Claude.
Yeah, no, your guy is Dimitri.
So I'm torn between Edelgard and Dimitri right now because again, Dimitri looks like he just looks like a manimal. Like that dude is ready to just go rip shit apart.
And my choice is Claude. Like, I've been shipping him since the beginning.
Well, especially because what you were convinced of with Claude, and then you see that 5-year skip, I'm like, oh yeah, we're sold now.
Yeah.
You were kind of like, oh, I want the Golden Stags, but I'm not sure though. And then you see that time skip, I'm like, yeah.
So, my part 2 to the question is who's your favorite lord overall?
And that's why I'm torn between Edelgard and...
No, overall. Like, in all the games we've played. So, this counts for Crom. This is Ryoma. This is Xander. This would also count for Ike, Marth, Roy.
That's hard, because there's so many different lords.
Mine's Ryoma. It's easy.
Ryoma's pretty damn
Ryoma, with the asterisk that because we haven't played Three Houses yet, obviously.
Yeah, because we're not sure what these 3 are going to bring to the table.
Yeah, exactly. So it's Ryoma with an asterisk.
So you have that there. That's hard. I want to almost say Xander.
Xander's pretty close for me, too, because once you get, like, his conversations going, you realize that everything he's doing is to protect his family.
Like, Birthright, I wanted to fucking murder his ass at the end for a specific reason, which I will not spoil. That's for you guys to find out if you want to take the time to go look into this
He
stuff.
had no idea, and it was great.
I literally
I
yelled.
knew what was coming. He had no clue.
I wanted to scream so bad. But the fact of the matter is, I love Xander because he does everything he does for his family. He wants to be able to make their homeland respected, not feared.
Yep.
And that's what I appreciate so much.
That's fair. And I appreciate Ryoma because he realized it, because one of the other points of Birthright versus Conquest is the idea of isolationism versus just getting involved in everybody's business, which was Nor versus Oshido.
Yep.
And Ryoma, through the course of most of the games, realizes that maybe the isolationist way wasn't the way to go, and that people need our help, and we had no idea because we had been so closed off. Which, again, brings up that whole video script I had about basically Japan versus Europe.
Anyway, again, that maybe something you could touch on again one day.
Maybe.
But the fact of the matter is, it's one of those things where the Lords, I think Xander wins me in the end, even though Ryoma's a very close second.
And see, for me, it was Ryoma with Xander as a very close second.
Well, technically, Lynn is also a Lord in a sense.
Lynn is, yeah, but we haven't played her game.
Exactly. All we know from her is really just smashing a couple things that we've seen.
I think Alm and Celica are both also Lords.
They are, yes, but again,
we haven't played Shadows of Valencia.
Nope.
We'll get there one day.
In time.
Eventually.
In time, yes. But again, there's a lot of facts. Technically, I think that really the one that's not really a true Lord is Ike, technically.
Maybe. I don't know, actually.
I think technically he's not a Lord in a sense. I think he's just a mercenary.
I think so. He might...
Maybe mercenary who becomes a Lord? We really don't know those games that well, so I can't really give my 2 cents in that range.
So right now it's Ryoma and Xander with asterisk because we don't know these new kids yet.
Please let these guys be good. I want a good...
Bring me Claude.
Again, every time you say Claude, I just want to make the Klein's joke from Sword Art Online for the abridged. His name is Klein. But instead, I'll just enjoy Claude.
So, I had another question, and I forgot it. So, I guess we're done here.
Yeah. But otherwise,
I think I forgot it.
But that thing, Fire Emblem was our big touch for this week, because that's coming out soon. We're excited to see what's going to happen. And again, I would love to stream that one with you guys if you're interested in wanting to see how this game functions.
That brings up my question.
Oh.
Would you be interested in playing Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn?
Part of me is interested in wanting to try it, even though there is the permadeath system. You can't put that on a casual mode. You're just pretty much locked into your ways, and it's probably going to kick the crap out of me.
I think there is a casual mode for Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. Most people just play it with permadeath, though.
If we do, though, we'll probably do that for streaming. This way you guys can all join me on the suffer train together. Find your favorite character. If they die, you get to kill me in the end. Just be warned, there's probably going to be a lot of taps played in that.
Probably.
Because one mistake, one turn can get you 5 people killed on accident.
Yep.
Unless they kill the main character, then you just reset the mission. Thank God!
Yep.
Which I almost will just honestly sack that person off if it means saving people.
Also fair.
Yeah, so that's probably where I'm at on that one.
Okay.
So, otherwise, guys, thank you for joining us again for Basecamp Podcast 2.
Yep.
Almost said episode 2 again, even though I know it's a podcast.
Well, I mean, it is an episode of a podcast.
Fair enough. But either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. We'll be back with every other week, like we mentioned. We'll do another one. On that one, I'm not sure what our topic for that week would be.
At that point, from looking at the calendar, we would have been playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance for
So,
a bit.
we'll probably just talk about that a little bit.
Yep. Talk about favorite superheroes and whatnot.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
So otherwise, guys, I hope you have a fantastic time listening. I hope we get to see you guys next time. I'm Commander Crescent.
I'm Zvilger.
And it was nice getting to hang out with you guys again today. Have a great rest of your day. Bye!